Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Off-Axis Builds. We're going to be doing a series of toggle switch wiring, okay? When I was starting to wire up Night Owl, I realized I was showing you guys how to do it, but not going into a lot of detail, okay? I'd like to go in a little bit deeper detail on how to wire these toggle switches, because there's many different ways you can wire one switch to do a few different operations. So we'll go ahead and show you that. I'm going to do a series of 6 different videos. We'll do a 2-pin, a 3-pin, 5-pin, 6-pin, 7-pin, and then also an 8-pin, okay? So stay tuned for each one of those guys. Check them all out. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that little bell for upcoming notifications because you'll get notified of my newest video. All right, guys, let's get started on the 2-pin, all right? Thank you. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Off-Axis Builds. In this video, we're going to be wiring up a 5-prong switch. And what that 5-prong switch can do for you is it'll give you 2 lights on your switch and then 1 switched port, I guess you could say, or switched spot, meaning it'll go to your accessory, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into that and show you how to wire that one up. Pretty simple. Just a few more wires than that 3-prong switch. Let's go ahead and dive into it and we'll show you what you need to do. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell for upcoming notifications. All right, guys, let's go. Alright guys, so this is a 5-prong switch, okay? What's nice about this one is when it's in the off position, if you wire it up one way, you can have this bottom light on all the time, okay? As soon as you turn it on, this bottom light stays lit, but this top one will turn on as well, okay? Now there's a second way you can wire it to where this bottom one never turns on, okay? This top one will turn on as soon as you switch it up, okay? Now, actually, I believe there's 3 ways you could wire this one up. I have to double check, but you could also wire it up with off, on, okay? So, let's go ahead and show you the diagram and show you how to wire it up. So what we're looking at here is a 5-prong switch, okay? You're going to have 2 on the top. You're going to have 2 more down on the left side, and then 1 more down on the right side, okay? This one is prong number 7, 8. I believe this one is 2, 3, and then this one is, I can't read it right now, 6. Okay? So, let's go ahead and draw the battery. Put a positive on the battery, and we'll put a negative on the battery. Okay, so when I said you can wire up the 7 switch to ground, you will not have any power on this bottom wire. Now, if you wire it up to 8, you will have power to the bottom wire, only when it's in the on position, okay? When you wire it up both 7 and 8 together, you will have power on the water pump when it's in the off position, okay? Now, going down here, you will have, if you wire it up hot to 2, okay, this one will go to your switch, okay? No, I'm incorrect on that one, guys. I apologize. All right. So, when you're wiring up this one, you're going to want to ground out number 8 and 7 together. What that does is allows you to have a light on both the bottom one and the top one, okay? Now, if you were to just ground the 7, as long as you have power on this number 6, this water pump will turn on and stay on no matter if the pump is on or the switch is in the on or off position, okay? Number 8 controls this side. This is the switch side. So when you ground out the number 8, you will get the water on, okay? And then obviously you do this to the light or whatever you're turning on. You will get this top water symbol on or whatever symbol you have up there, okay? So in order to get both of them working properly, you are going to want to tie these two together, okay? And then you're going to want to, depending on whether or not you want the water pump's light to be on, or not water pump, I should say, the bottom light in this case, to be on all the time, you're just going to go from 2 and jump over to 6 with the power, okay? So that'll keep this bottom on all the time. Now, if you want it switched, you're going to go from the number 3 to the number 6, okay? So let's go ahead and draw that out. I know it's a little confusing. We'll go ahead and draw it out. I'll do 2 drawings so you can see. That's a big switch, but whatever. You get the idea. Okay, so what we're going to do, before we even start, let's go ahead and label these. 2, 3, and 6. Okay. So, we'll draw a picture. And here's a light. Okay. Now, there's an actual light bulb underneath there. That's what I'm drawing here. There's a light bulb on both of those. Okay. So, this one will be wired as if the water pump turns on when you turn it, or excuse me, I keep saying water pump, but it's actually, because they're all, 12 volt power, water pump, whatever. In fact, let's just do 12 volt power, okay? So, when you wire the 3 and the 6 together, it's only going to turn on when the switch is switched on, okay? When you wire the 2 and the 6 together, it'll be on all the time. Now, in this case, I want it wired like this on the dash because I don't want this on all the time. When I turn the car off, I want that off. Okay? Any other switch, I want that on when I turn this one on. Okay? So let's go ahead and wire these up. So we're going to jump these 2. Okay? And we're going to jump these 2. The reason for that is because I want both lights to be grounded out and to be able to work. Okay? Both of them will come to the ground. Okay? Same on both switches. Where it's different, it's this bottom section. Okay? So, let's go ahead and I want blue and red at this point. Okay. We're going to take a positive, go to number 2. Okay. Now on this switch, we are going to have the bottom off when the power's to it. Okay. And by that I mean when it's in the off position, you'll have nothing. When you flip the switch on, you will have power to both lights. Over here, okay, when you flip the switch on, or excuse me, when we wire it up, you will have power just to the bottom. Okay? When you flip the switch on, you will now get power to the top. Okay? Both kind of do the same thing. It's all a matter of what you want to do. Okay? So let's go ahead and back up here to make it just a little bit less confusing. I don't want to make this thing too confusing. So we will just wire up one switch right now, and I will show you how to do this switch, which is both off in the off position. This switch is in the off position. You have the bottom light. We won't deal with that right now. So we're going to take the positive. We're going to go to the number 2. Okay? Now, if, like I said, if I want no lights on, we're going to take number 3 and number 6 and we're going to jump them. Okay? Then we're going to take, this is the light. Remember, it has a positive and it has a negative. Okay? Obviously, the negative is going to go to the battery. All right? And I tie into the line up there. It represents going to the negative on the battery. Okay? So, we are going to take from here, okay, we are going to go to number 3 or 6. Doesn't matter because it's jumped. In this case, since this is the switch side we're dealing with, I'll make it easy for you guys. We are going to go to the number 3 side. Okay? So let's go ahead and wire this up, and I'll show you what I mean by not having any power, having power on both when it's in on position. Okay? So that being said, let's figure out where all my jumpers are. I think I may need to make some jumper wires just to make this easier for show, guys. So we'll quickly just make up some wires. Okay. That side. Let's do the same for this guy. Alright, so now I got a few jumpers. Okay. We may or may not use all of them, but in this case, I have them made. Alright, so again, here's your 5-prong wire. Okay, remember I said we will take the negative and come up and tie into the top 2 posts. Okay, so here's our jumper. We're going to go tying into this one and tying into this one. Okay, now this one's going to go to the battery. Okay, so let's just wire that guy up so you guys can see what's going on there. Man, I'm getting tangled of wires down here. Gotta clean some things up. All right, so we got, clip it on there, and we'll clip it on down here. All right, so we got the positive to work on now that the ground is done. Okay, so in order to make it to where the bottom is not switched, I'm going to jump it on the bottom line, okay? All right, so this is going to go to the light. Where's the light? Lost the light. Here we go. Okay. All right, so we have a light here. Okay. Don't need those right now. So we're going to tie in the red, because that's the switch we're working on. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this ground. And the only reason why I'm using this ground here is because it's going back to the battery. Okay. So now we got the light hooked up. Now we need power to this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this guy up to there. And we're going to come down to the battery. Now, the switch is off. When I flip it on, we got power on both of them and power over here. Look at that. Okay. Now, take the power off the battery. Set this aside and I'll clean up this drawing so you can see the other side, okay? Where did I put that? Okay. So let's erase all this stuff. All right. Put this back in so you guys can see what you need to do. Get a general idea. Okay. And there. Okay. So that's what we have on this one. Okay, that last one you just saw me wire up. This is what we're going to have on the opposite side to get the light lit up all the time. Okay, again, we're going to go and tie in 8 and 7. Come all the way down to the ground. Okay, now we will do the same with this one as well. I'll just go ahead and tie it into that one. Okay, so the light is done. Again, we are going to take this light switch, and you can go to 3 or 7 or 6, right? We're going to come over and go right to 3, and that's actually the one you should be wiring to, okay? Now, in order to get this bottom light lit up all the time, instead of jumping those two, you're going to jump these two, okay? And then you're going to get power on this side. Okay? Let's go and wire that up. I already have most of it wired here, but I will break it down so you guys can see what we're doing. Okay? So like I said, there's the jumper that we had there. Watch what I do. I'm going to take this. Okay, and I'm going to go here. Okay, now I am jumped. And we're going to unhook this because that's a different setup. I am jumped, right? Just like that, okay? Now, what we're going to want to do, though, is we're going to want to get power off of this one, right, to the light. So it's off of number 3. We're going to come over to the light that we want to power up, or whatever you're wiring in. Heated seats, whatever. Okay? So now we should have one more wire we got to hook up. And that is the main power to number 2. Okay? Number 2, we're going to plug this in right here. And we'll go down to my battery. Now, if you pay attention, 12-volt power light is on all the time. Okay, watch this. Top light turns on, that light turns on, and stays on at the bottom. Off. See how it stays on all the time? So, like I said before, since this is a 12-volt power switch, I do not want that lit up all the time on my switch panel. So I wired it this way. Okay? If it's in anywhere else in the switch panel where you're wiring in, like, let's say fog lights, you want it this way. The reason why you want it this way is so you can see where your fog light switch is on your dash. Okay? But I didn't wire it this way because I don't want it draining the battery all the time because it's on the opposite side of everything. Okay? That's why I wired it the opposite direction. But in most cases, like I said, you're going to have it wired this way. So when you have it on, you can see where the switch is. Say, oh, I want my fog lights. There it is. Oh, fog lights are on. Boom, look at that. They're red. Right? Fog lights are off, but I can still see where the switch is on my dash. Simple? Somewhat? All right. So I think we're done with that one. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on another episode of Off Axis Builds. I got that 5-prong switch wired in for you guys. 2 different ways you can wire it in. You pick the way you want. Like I said, I'm going to be using both ways on my dash. The first switch is the 12-volt power switch. I'm using the right side on that drawing, okay, where the 12-volt power will not be lit up unless I turn the switch on. If I'm wiring in a headlight, or a fog light, I should say, because headlights, you're going to have high beams and low beams. Let's say fog lights. You're going to want that switch on all the time. Have it on. You're going to wire it like the left side. Okay? Turn the switch on. Now you have both lights on. Pretty simple. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Off Axis Builds. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that little bell for upcoming notifications because I got more of these videos to come, guys. Remember, it's always built, not bought. See you in the next one, guys.